all you guys who sit in the back like it's church, I'm going to give preference to the front row. Right here, right here, right here, right there, right there. You left-wingers over there, there. Remember your order.
I won't take nearly as much time as I did last time. First, to change pace a little bit, I wanted to compliment you on your stand on illegal immigration. You have gotten a lot of I stand with you 100%. 100%. I think, and you and Senator Sessions, I've been in communication with him several years, and he seems to be very firm. I don't know if people, the question, I guess, is, will be in just a minute, what do you think is the chances of getting, first of all, I don't think we need any immigration reform, we just need to enforce what we got. But I don't know if people don't realize, but even if the government figures are accurate on the number of illegal immigrants in this country, because some pestilence was to suddenly wipe out totally the population of Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Birmingham, and all the countryside in between. There are enough illegals in this country to repopulate them at their current population levels.
That's about right.
That's quite a burden on our educational system, our medical system, our gasoline system. I mean, these people are part of what's sinking us. So the first question in just a minute is going to be, what do you think at this time is the chance, since they're not going to let the subject go, of something being done constructively? Second thing
in Washington?
Yes.
Zero.
That's what I figured. The next thing they had to do was debt limit. That was my other topic I had down here, some big. See this gray hair? I may not be as old as the gentleman back here, but I've been around long enough to see the debt ceiling raised numerous times. And all it has ever accomplished is to increase the national debt. Well, it may have postponed the final crash from where we could have done something about it, where we ain't going to be able to handle it. I mean, you know, like I said, the figures I got off the internet this morning are, the debt is 98.6% of gross national product, gross domestic product. And if all your money is committed when your furnace goes out, you're going to be cold this winter, you know? So, I am opposed, personally. I know it's going to be bad, but I'm saying you ain't seen nothing till it crashes. When you start negotiating default interest, you can do a little negotiating, you still got some control. When your currency crashes, you've lost it all right there. What we're going to do if we don't raise it is near as bad as coming. I got some news for you this minute. I'm saying, and no balanced budget amendment. And I say that for this reason, because some Sheila Jackson Lee judge in the future will say that you've got to raise taxes to balance the budget. I don't think you can write it where they can't do that.
Actually, one I drafted prohibits any judge from ordering any increase in revenue.
But can they just throw your amendment out and say it's not, you know, that's, anyway, I'm just saying, I don't
it's
judge.
an amendment to the Constitution. It's there in black and white.
Here's the thing.
You have a risk with judges, though.
Here's the thing that scared me this morning. I'll close with this, and but the question on this will be, what do you think is going to happen in the debt ceiling discussion, the vote? Okay. Because here's the thing that scares me. This morning, many of these nations he mentioned a while ago that own our national debt, those that have got lots of dollars, are converting to gold. That's good. The bad news is China is not converting. You know what that means? The other countries are getting gold and they're paying. China still owns us.
I appreciate your comments and insight. On the illegal aliens thing, I'm motivated for a lot of reasons, the economics of it. To me, that is one of the most clear-cut public policy issues there has ever been.
Exactly.
What we're doing to America is absolutely wrong. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think I made myself clear on that.
Yes.
But to add a little bit of fuel to the fire, we had an illegal alien recently convicted of murder where he killed 2 teenagers who were coming home from a church dance. They were burned to death in a rear-end collision where he was, for whatever reason, doing things bad enough to where he was guilty of murder. Okay? We had a police officer who was pleading for his life in broad daylight downtown restaurant, and he was executed by an illegal alien. We had another family in a vehicular homicide, a grandmother, mother, daughter, and a friend of the mother who were all wiped out because illegal aliens just plowed right through an intersection without paying any attention to what the rules of the road were. Okay? And there are probably many others in Madison County and the Tennessee Valley who've been killed who would be alive today but for our illegal alien policy. So any bill that comes up that I can do something with, that I can vote for, I'm going to vote for. Having said that, the reason I said there's zero chance in the United States Congress is because we've got a group over here that wants to legalize them all. We're concerned that the president wants to use his clemency powers to give them all amnesty or something.
Yes.
Okay? But the President of the United States right now is trying to evade or elude the United States Congress. So cap and trade, which did not pass even when they controlled the Senate and the White House, he's trying to get that through the regulatory process. The same effect with the EPA. With card check, where you deny employees the right to a secret ballot vote, he's trying to do it by running around Congress. With, well, you've seen what he's doing with, to promote unions with the NLRB in South Carolina and Boeing, where he's caused the NLRB to sue Boeing because they chose to build a plant in South Carolina, which is a right-to-work state. That could just as easily have been us.
Yes.
We're a right-to-work state. Now, if people want to unionize, and a majority of them want to unionize in a legitimate election where there's not coercion or pressure, that's their right. But they should not be coerced into signing these cards, and that's what the administration wants. And so, you know, I don't know what we're going to do with all those issues you have, but we have, the public has elected gridlock. We have the guys way over here, we have the conservatives over here, and they're diametrically opposed philosophies of government. I mean, if you believe in free enterprise, you can't really compromise with socialism. They're just two different theories of government, or excuse me, economic theories. And so with illegal aliens, you saw what happened when the Republicans captured the Alabama legislature. They dealt with the issue as best they could, given how they're hamstrung by the federal government. We had 136 years of Democrats. Granted, the problem only arose in the last decade or so, they did nothing. And at the Washington level, they want all these illegal aliens to receive some kind of amnesty to get citizenship because they're to a large degree dependent on the federal government for wealth transfer programs, and the belief is they will vote en bloc for Democrat candidates and preserve the power of the president, keep them in the Senate, and perhaps get them the House of Representatives. And that's what we're fighting. It's really a battle for America in a very large sense.
I was a policeman in another town and spent considerable time working in some pretty serious ghettos. And I can tell you for a fact, from my own personal experience, there was an entire subculture out there of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people who were riding the government's gravy train of public housing, welfare payments, food stamps, all types of government programs. And this allows these people to, boom, I got a mob on my hands at 11:30 on a Wednesday morning. Where did 1,000 people come from? Oh yeah, well they're not worried about going to work to support themselves and their families. You got a lot of people in the ghetto who are on SSI disability because they're drug addicts or alcoholics. Or overweight. Social Security's running out of money, but you wonder why. And you don't need to be offering up to take any cuts in any entitlements for benefits, pension, or Social Security. Because those are your entitlements. You paid into those programs or you got wounded or something. But I'm telling you that there are millions of people nationwide who are in this invisible subculture in this society, and they're just raking in money from all different government agencies, left and right.
A major problem we have is that there are more and more people who prefer to vote for a living rather than work for one. That's it. And we're going to have to deal with it.
A question. This may be a little technical. What was the point of QE2? And is Stiglitz right that it is completely ineffectual and all our money is going overseas?
I'm not sure of the point of QE2. That's quantitative easing. It deals with the Federal Reserve and the federal government. I'll give you my rather limited understanding, so if I hear...
You got an economics degree, I don't. So.
Well, I was a county commissioner in commercial litigation when QE2 was begun. I was not a part of that discussion or debate, so I'm having to get it after the fact. But as I understand it, it's a way for the Federal Reserve to finance the federal government where they just create money. Okay, it's printing of money. But I could be wrong. That's the impression I have. That's not a topic that I've studied. I do know that the Federal Reserve Chairman, Bernanke, has talked to at least one senator from Alabama about another gimmick like that, to try to make it look like the federal government has more money on hand. And this time he was talking in the neighborhood of $700–800 billion. Ultimately, what that would do is devalue our currency and result in inflation, if that's the approach they use to finance this horrendous and unsustainable budget deficit. Who was
We
next?
need to abolish the Federal Reserve. It's not even a federal agency.
Were you next?
It's international bankers.
Well, my profit on it illegal, but what's been bugging me, why there's nobody in newspaper, nothing, never prints the amount the United States spends on these foreigners illegal. Like doctors, drugs, schools, and
Yeah,
girlfriends. How much are we spending on them? Say on the even kids, they can get free cell phones.
I do it every chance I get, and I get ugly editorials written against me every chance they get. By the way, I'm going to be on Alan Combs tomorrow night discussing illegal I assure you I'm going to be arguing the conservative position.
I want to refuse to go on this show. Get on Hanneman, we'll watch you.
How do you have this discussion with somebody that doesn't know what